let me ask you this. What were some really good things about that activity? Emma.
When we were making our fish facts, we weren't using too much interpretations. We saved that for our suitcase part.
Because we talked a little bit, so I'm going to, we talked a little bit about, sometimes that's one of the hard things, right? When you create these ladders, is the difference between fact and interpretation. What were some of the conclusions Melanie came to about Chester? Raise your hand if you have a conclusion, and just read off that conclusion.
He's bossy, and I have to be more strict with him.
I have to be stricter with him. He's bossy.
He's a very bad putty cat.
He's a very bad pussycat. Phoenix.
Bossy, annoying, and mean.
Okay. Isn't it funny how Chester didn't see himself like that? So now, though, let's do Melanie. Because according to Melanie, she is Miss Perfect, isn't she? Can anyone share the conclusion that Chester had about Melanie? Kelly.
She hates me.
She hates me? Okay. We have hateful.
I need to get back at her.
Ooh, I need to get back at her. The ladders we built today look very different than the ladder that Chester built about himself. Like, think of all the ladders that Melanie built about Chester. Why did Chester not see it that way? Why did Chester not see it that way? Rachel?
Because they're both kind of selfish in a way, but they don't notice it.
Ah, okay.
They're not looking at other people's fish, they're just looking at what they want to see. I'm the best, she's rude, I don't care about it.
And that's being selfish.
So actually, you've sort of gotten into my next part. Why is it important to look at someone else's data pool? Do you think Chester should look at the data pool of Melanie? And Melanie, do you think Melanie could benefit from looking at the data pool of Chester? What do you think?
They both have made, like we did a couple days ago, where we said what they would have described themselves. And they think they're kind of both perfect and they're the best, but really they both have their ups and downs to them.
So when we don't look at another person's ladder, are we hurting or helping? Matei. So why don't I always look at someone else's ladder? I've decided I want to do it this way. My mother says, no, you should do it this way. Why do I choose not to look at my mother's ladder? If I know it's going to help by looking, why do I choose? Casey?
Because you don't want to look at the other person's ladder, you want to do it your own way.
But why don't I? Why don't I want to do it the other? Luke?
You're so confident about it that you don't take the time to try to look at someone else's ladder, and you don't think that they could be right.
You don't want to admit that you're wrong.
You don't want to, sorry?
Admit that they're wrong. You're wrong.
Ah, we don't like to admit that we're wrong.
You don't want to just say, I'm wrong.
That's right. We don't want to admit that we're wrong. It's kind of hard to admit that you're wrong, isn't it?
Yeah. You kind of get embarrassed when you're wrong, but sometimes it's good because that makes you as stronger as a person.
Okay. Anyone else? Yeah, Matei.
Melanie was vilifying Chester. Now everyone thinks Chester's a meanie. He's mean. He's not letting Melanie Watt do her book.
So you're saying, so Melanie Watt is vilifying Chester.
Well, when you really look at it.
That's pretty good. When you really look at it, what?
Melanie Watt's quite a bad person if you think about it. Like the way she acts to Chester, it's as if he's her slave.
What else? Yes, Emma.
Melanie's making everyone have a preconceived notion about Chester, and Chester's making everyone have a preconceived notion about Melanie.
What I love about what you did, because we're going to move on to the second part now, what I like about what you did is you went beyond the book Chester. I don't know if you even noticed you were doing that. Did you notice you were doing that?
A little.
You were doing that. So now we're going to talk about how do we use the ladder. Because obviously we use the ladder to do some inferring here, right, about Chester and Melanie. But how do we use the ladder to help us solve problems in the classroom? So let's now go beyond the text. But the thing is, you've already gone beyond the text. How do we use the problem? How do we use the ladder to help us solve a problem? Yep.
We can use it to see what's going on in someone else's data pool or what's going on in their life. So say someone has somebody who just died in their family. That's kind of hiding behind a plant, and you don't really know that. And then say you get in a fight with them, you don't know why they're acting acting like that.
Usually if something like a small fight happened, he'd usually get over it. But since he had something so big in his data pool, he felt like he couldn't get over it and it was much bigger.
And what happened to the class when we saw what was in this person's data pool?
We totally changed how we looked at it because we thought it's just a dumb little problem. What's so big about it? Why is he so frustrated? But then you find out that he has something so big, like he was moving it.
So that was, someone was talking about, who mentioned aha moment earlier? Faith, you mentioned it. And sometimes that is our aha moment, right? Something that we think, oh my goodness, are you kidding me? You're going to make a big deal about this? Really? Right? And then that's the aha moment.
The aha moments actually help the class get stronger because every time there's an aha moment, the class bonds because if, let's say, we thought there was a little problem, but we found out that someone was moving, and we, as a class, we help that person feel better inside and make it not a big deal so the class community gets stronger.
Okay.
And even when there's like a problem, it gets stronger because we're working together to solve it and make the classroom community like happy again.
Okay, Kristen, you had your hand up.
It's not about aha moments, but I just want to bring this up. Okay. We had a problem once with two people that one person was calling someone else a name, and then he knew that it was bothering the other person, but what made me wonder, and probably some other students here was wondering if, like, why does this person do this mean thing to him if he knows that it bothers him?
So when the ladder leaders work with this person, what might the ladder leaders do to make sure this person knows what's happening?
Look further into both of their data pools.
Okay.
And look at their conclusions and see if there's any relationship.
Okay, good. You guys are doing well. Emma.
When the ladder leaders help, the ladder leaders will have to keep in mind, like, I've thought that when I've been helping someone, because I'm a ladder leader, and it's like, sometimes it's hard to like not think, oh, this person's wrong and this person's right. You have to kind of like see both sides, and you still don't make a conclusion because neither of them was right or wrong. They could have both been wrong, but they could have both been right at the same time.
Okay. I do want to move on. I want to ask, we've talked about our schema suitcase, and our schema suitcase was right over here. What does our schema suitcase have to do with the ladder of inference? What does it, or helping us reach our conclusion? What does the schema suitcase even have to do with that? Sonoya?
It's what is happened to your own life experience, so you can actually, it helps you to get to your conclusion.
We talked a little bit about perception versus perspectives. Who can tell me the difference? Perception versus perspectives. What's the perception? What's perception is how we what? Perception. Leona. How we see things. So we see the Snow Hill rule, I think you were saying, about as being unfair or fair. That's the perception. What's the perspective then? What's the perspective? If the perception is how we see it, what's the perspective? What's going to affect that?
Your schema suitcase.
Yeah, it's your schema suitcase, right? It's all that stuff that you carry around. It's like when I have parent-teacher interviews at that back table. And your parents, I tell your parents how wonderful you are. And your parents look at me and say, no, are you kidding me? I think you've got the wrong kid. Because why? Why? Why?
We're only with you for like 6 hours of the day.
Right.
Our parents have been with us for like
Our whole lives.
our whole life.
So they have a different perspective. Remember I talked to you guys about a person who's in the news a lot now, right, in the media? And I said to you, this person is a bully. Fact or interpretation? And you all said to me what? Fact. But I had to tell you, guys, no, it's not a fact. That's actually an interpretation. Yes.
Like, you feel like the interpretation is such a fact because you believe in it so badly. Like the person we were talking about in the news. Yes. You feel like he's such a rude person. He's such a bully. He's always trying to get everybody on his side when he's such a jerk. But in the end, it's really an interpretation. Half the people in the world might like him.
Does anyone want to add on? Leona.
When people don't want to like give out the fish and they don't want to talk about what they were doing, it's kind of hard to like put the fish so you know what your interpretation is about that.
Okay.
one time we had a problem where someone didn't want to like talk to the ladder leaders in you about the problem and what they did or not.
If a problem happens, do we try to build the ladder like right away? What do we do? If we can, that's great. But sometimes what do we have to do?
We waited just a little bit and then asked again if he wanted to talk about it now.
That's right.
But if you wait too long, some people can actually make up fish.
Okay, yes, we've had that.
That's the problem. To just to make themselves like look good, kind of.
Right.
I don't know how to explain it.
To
Just
cover
like,
up what the conclusion of them is.
Ah, okay.
Don't want the conclusion of them to be bad, so they make up those fish to kind of. It might not actually be going on, but like just to make it so like this is why. So he's kind of like people can feel a little bit like bad for them. So like it's not as like much like kind of people could be rude to them, but like we don't want that.
Could it help solve world problems? How do we use it? Have you used it outside of the classroom?
I make a ladder in my head, and my conclusion always is she's all mean and rude. But then after the problem is done, I kind of think my sister's conclusion probably is that I am rude too.
Interesting. When you say you make the ladder in your head, what do you mean? So you mean you're not actually taking a piece of paper out in the middle of the family, like the dinner table or whatever, and starting to draw fish? So what have you done? Yes.
I kind of forget the word that you told us, but it started with an I.
Yeah.
So what are you doing?
You're like, it's like something that you get internalized.
So we sort of internalized the ladder, right? And that's what my hope was. When I showed you the ladder, my hope was that you wouldn't always have to draw it. My hope was that you would internalize it.
Like brushing your teeth is something you distract with.
That's exactly it, yes.
You can also use it when you're in fights with your mom or something, because I do that a lot.
Okay.
I'll have like a fight with my mom, and then we'll be like, I'll go lay down, and it'll be like, oh yeah, but she's like really mad at me, but I'm really mad at her.
Yeah. Exactly. Who else had their hand up here? Faith.
Another place we can use the ladder is like sort of in war.
In war. Oh my goodness, tell me about that. Okay, that's a bit of a jump. Okay, go.
Okay, so one army group could say we're fighting for this land because of this and that and this, and then the other army could say we're fighting for this land because this and that and this, and then they sort of realize we're both sort of fighting the same land for the same reasons.
Oh my goodness, yeah. We can compromise, we can share. So there are ways. And so don't get all worried. You said, oh, what was the word? Yeah, I did use the word internalize way back when I talked this to you, because I said my hope is that you can internalize. And now I'm kind of seeing that you have sort of done that in a sense, right? We don't always take out the pencils and papers and take out the fish.
You don't really have to notice that you internalize it. It just happens. After a while, you get used to it and it happens.
Exactly.